right. Let's figure out how to do a grid system. You know what I want to do? I want to draw a dot right at the center. Yeah, let's draw a dot right at the center. Circle X center. There we go. Hey, how's it going? Here, let me do this for a second though. I don't know if you've seen, here, let me turn off the grid. Let me turn on some of the other elements. This is something we're just messing around with. I think this is now like maybe less than 72 hours of development. Here, I'll turn on everything. That's part of the HUD. Got a mini map. Some character stats. And when you interact with an NPC, they pop up that you get for quests or just dialogue. This is actually using quite a bit. This is still going to be an idle incremental. We're just playing around with some of these graphics and playing around with some multiplayer stuff. Under the hood here, it's still using almost all the same logic and components that we've built for our other projects. Hey, good morning. Welcome back. So since we saw the stream last night, I now have let me see, up in that corner, the character portrait, character level, health, mana, and then I have a mini map as well, which is just, you know, that bird's eye view of the map we're currently on. There's 2 dots. The white one is my character. The yellow one is the NPC. So that was a fun little thing to figure out how to do that. Yeah, and I think that'll be a fun little feature as you're trying to hunt around for quests, or just the different NPCs inside the town, or locations to do mining or gathering or something like that. So my challenge for the next hour is to do this. I did bring in the A star pathfinding library, and it works. The implementation is correct with dummy data. I can see it work. So now what I'd like to get working is a grid system. So I'm just trying to get these tiles placed. And then eventually what tech are you using to build this? So this is still just a view app. It's a view app with visually what we're doing to show all the sprites and everything. It's just P5, which is kind of one step up. One step up from just using from the HTML5 canvas. So that's it. Everything else you've seen, we've written ourselves. So just to break it down here, in the top left corner, that's just a view component. The modal right there that says Brighton, that's just a view component styled with Bootstrap. The mini map in the upper right, that is one P5 canvas, and then the game itself is another one. So I'm loading two canvases. Yeah, and at the moment they don't share information, which is why I don't want to like move around a bunch yet, but they will eventually. Like the player, right? Both canvases are going to be rendering the same data. What map you're on, the location of your character, the location of NPCs or mining locations, and then all a mini map is instead of rendering the character sprite, you're rendering a dot or a letter or something like that. And then Rinzai, the thing I also want to see, so as I move, you'll see the white dot up there actually moves, right? So the mini map works. It moves with the character and everything. But Rinzai, I think what would be really cool here is instead of like Noroth where the map just ends and you have to click on a little door icon to go to the next map, we can really try to tile. We can. Oh yeah. Okay, so you were able to actually register an account. So account registration works. Awesome. Why are the trapezoids? So I know they're the tiles are going to be because it's an isometric game, right? The character moves by angles, so the tiles won't be just straight squares. So when you click as to where to move, that's the layout. The game is isometric, so the tiles are isometric too. The problem I'm having just right now is that they are overlapping. Here, what I'm going to suggest, Rinzai, is go up and you'll see in play.js, so the JS folder, and then play.js, up near the top, line 12, I created a constant called show grid. Switch that over to false. That'll save you the visualization you're seeing, but everything else kind of works. I also, the one change I made from last night is to close the modal. I just made it this gray button. I think it's real obvious on how to close that without it being that red. That red was just not very nice. Okay, so my goal for the next hour is just to get these tiles to lay out correctly, and then Rinzai, and this is really fun. This is where like we can scale the team that works on this game, because a level editor is someone just coming in here and selecting which of these tiles you can walk on and which are blocked, and that'll be really cool. So we can make a lot of content pretty easily. But what I want to do is I want to go down here, just trying to figure out the math here. So the dot is the center. Wouldn't it be better if the tiles were mirrored the other way? You may be right. You may be right. I may have them going the wrong way. Well, okay, at the end of the day, it's just going to be square tiles set at a 45-degree angle. They shouldn't be, yeah. I just have the calculation wrong for generating the points. It shouldn't matter which way they're mirrored. Oh, you're right, Trap. I guess actually, because they're over. Yes. So, because they overlap the edge of the dock, but the other way would fit. Yeah. Let me think. There we go. Oh, also I realized that it's only drawing it to the current screen, not the whole map. Okay, so I'll change that. So it draws the tiles for the whole map. Let me think about this. Let me go here. So where I calculate. Just a second. Let's play around with this a little bit. And then Rinzai, what you just got to keep in mind is when drawing a quadrilateral in P5, you move clockwise or counterclockwise, right? So it's and I have it in the code, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So that's how we do the coordinates. Oh, I dropped in, what is this? I cut something out and now it's yelling at me. Here it is. Oh, I put an extra S. There you go. for some reason just now. That's weird. Oh, I must have been trying to give coordinate. Yeah, I must have given coordinate commands and I was typing in code instead. My bad. Line 38. Yikes. Yep. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the tiles are just too steep. Yeah. Although if the dock was facing the other way, it might be different. Yeah. Yeah, the angle of the tiles is definitely not correct yet. Oh, here, let me... Let me just put in some... There's probably a nice guide site that'll show you like how to offset these things. So these are the centers of all the squares, and the centers should actually be offset from each other. Oh, yes. I bet that is part of it too. Here, let me take this and do this, and then do this. X center plus equals. This should offset the, hold on. Oh, this is by one whole step. I need to do this divided by 2. Now we should see the 2 rows of dots after I refresh. The 2 rows of dots should be offset. Having a few too many dots. Oh, I am drawing this because I'm drawing twice as many dots. There you go. I need to quit a couple apps here. Okay, so now we can see we are offset. And so that starts to get the placement there. So each center is off step, a half step from each other, but the distance vertically is still a full step. Okay. And so we may want to, yeah. Let's see. What do I have open in the background here? Don't save. Close that. Just going to close a few things. Okay. Doing a little struggling here, trying to render this all right now. Close that. Close. Did I make something that's just a little too... Oh, and And let me turn off it doesn't need to be trying to generate the path right now. Let's just comment that out. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna switch this over for a sec. Cool. Switch that over for a sec while I just restart Chrome. I think I got myself into a little bit of a loop there. Okay. Let's try that again. New window. There we go. There we go. All right, switching back. Nice. All right. Let's open up our dev console. And I think we will, for the sake of not having this thing try to do too many things at the same time, let's turn off the extra HUD stuff. So this is offsetting the tiles by half a step. So instead of it being a grid square, they're all set half off. So I think let's just do this. If the X position we keep there, and then the Y we bring it up 1, and then for the second X position we are adding a step, and the Y is also going up 1. The third we are back at 0, and now the Y is +1, and the X is this right? Let's see if this draws. Okay, it's almost there. Vertically everything's working. Did I need to do my 1 and 3 or not? Let me think. 1. Did that need to be a -1? No, that would make a, then that would be I would end up making a square. So let me draw this out. If that's my center, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So X1, correct? Oh, my Y is also -1 and a head 1. So I feel like we got that. Oh, is it simply that? Is my step too small? What happens when I do this? Let's refresh. Is this gonna overlap now? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Too much overlap. Come on, the other browser's just not wanting to quit. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I think the issue is I'm not stepping far enough ahead when I do step ahead with the X. So my 2 should be a 2-step, and that means my 4 should be 2 steps back. Okay, let's try this. I think I'm gonna actually have to, here, I'm gonna quit Chrome entirely. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so that is now the correct height of the tiles. Let's do this. Let's take off the additional adjustment we made. There we go. Okay, there's some isometric tiles. I was doing one additional offset that clearly didn't need to be done. But I do need to... I'm going to quit Chrome for a sec. Okay, let's bring it back. Okay. 1 second. Okay. One more time. All right. So that's because I wasn't shifting the center. Oh, I see what I was doing wrong. Okay. Okay. This is going to be a bit of a duplication of code, but I just want to make sure we get these things right. I was doing a little bit incorrect order of operation with this. There we go. And now you do the additional step. So my greens and reds, they both have the center, but they are offset from each other. And all the X's need one, is it one more? This is gonna make, I don't think this is right. It was looking there correct for a second, but then the center wasn't in the right place. Trying to stream and do this at the same time is maybe a bit much for the computer, so I may have to end the stream. But oh yeah, we're already half an hour in. we're already half an hour into this, but I think we're pretty close. I think I'm going to end the stream a little bit early because it's chugging a bit, but I think we're pretty close on this. So yeah, I think we're making a lot of progress here in 3 days. Yeah, that was too extreme of a step. All right. Trying to... What if the tiles were square tilted at 45 degrees? That's essentially what... Yeah. So instead of... Correct. And that's probably what it needs to be. An isometric... Yeah. So an isometric tile. Well, isometric grid. This is what I'm trying to do. Right? Let's do the image search here. And so yes, it doesn't lay flat. It is the Yeah, I think that's fine. This is what you're describing, right? This is basically a grid tilted at 45. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that works. One of the things the pathfinding can do is you can move diagonally. Because I'm like, in this particular way, if you wanted to move directly straight up, the character in an isometric game would have to zigzag. All right, and that looks funny. But if you move vertically up, just 0 degrees straight up, then you're moving from the center of one tile to the next. Right, because at the end of the day, all of these are nodes. Actually, we're really just trying to define the hitbox for the node. That's something good to keep in mind. The character moves from node to node, right? Okay, so let me try to explain this without doing this. This is the actual movement path of There's two things going on. You probably define up, down, left, right within A, B. So I already have the A star implemented and working. I'm not worried about that part because this part is what A star wants. Hold on here. Right, these things are just right. This is what A star wants, and it's just gonna find the best way to move from dot to dot. What I'm struggling with just right now is creating the hitbox for each one of these dots. And the other way to do this is just, what if there were no hitboxes? What if when you clicked on the screen, it just determined which dot you see is the closest one? It looks like that grid you showed on Google, the hitboxes were sideways diamond shaped. Yeah. But what if we can switch back to something like no, I don't want to switch back. let's just solve this because I think this is just fine. It's not that isometric is a problem. Isometric is simply the placement of these dots. The player's never going to see the grid. It's where we put these dots. And I actually just think I've been running around for the last couple hours trying to solve something that may not need to be solved. We don't need to necessarily render out. We don't need to necessarily render out the grid. Sorry, we don't even need to render out or even figure out hitboxes. What we need to do is when we click anywhere on this screen, we simply need to figure out what is the closest dot, the node, to that. That's all we need to do. That was the whole point of the hitboxes. But I don't need to render it out. I should be able to click in between, and I don't think you guys can see my mouse. I should be able to click anywhere between any of these dots. And it's just going to move. That dot should then, turn red. The nice thing with doing a hitbox is then we could always make sure folks were like that the grid square was isometric, but I don't think that matters. You're just going to be clicking on, as a player, you're going to click on the screen and you're going to expect your character to move to roughly that location. So let's just solve that. We already have this. This works. We could have more nodes, or here's the beautiful part, we could have less nodes. These nodes are just all the potential places a character, holy shit, Rinzai, if you were to do, the boxes would be nice visually for whoever designs the maps, invisible walls. Correct, and that's what I was about to say. I was going to say, Rinzai, it would actually be really cool if we had a version of the map without the background, basically it'd be interesting to figure out if we could programmatically figure out what is not walkable, but that may be too difficult. Yes, the boxes would be nice for the level editor. Absolutely. Yeah. The only difference is some of these stamps you use are walkable. Like we want people to be able to walk on flowers or whatever. But most of the stamps you put down are things the player shouldn't be able to cross. Barrels, boxes, like the larger rocks and stuff like that. It'd be really interesting if you could export not a collision map, but like an obstacle map, and then we could just actually layer that, right? Look at the pixel. You basically look at that PNG and you analyze at this particular pixel, is it white or black? If it's black, you can't move there. If it's white, you can move there. And we build a grid like that. That'd be real cool. Because then, yeah. Okay. So if we keep, for 1 and 3, there's no adjustment to the X. For 2 and 4, there's no adjustment to the Y. And now we're just spinning .45 degrees, like that. Right? Look at that. Well, here's the other side. So what I would do is, hold on. I actually have to render the things I'm clicking on. Come on. Show it to me. looks like we need to go probably like 1.5. Oh, I could just change how large a step is. But let's see if 1.5 looks. See, this is where we have a little bit of overlap. That was too much. I think my offset's not enough. Let me draw this out for a sec. Oh, I see my problem. Oh, I need to not just, I need to, oh wow, this was the whole problem with the freaking previous one. This was the whole problem with the previous freaking one. I don't need to go a full step down. I need to go half a step down because each layer, I think the sideways steps are meant to be slightly wider than the vertical ones. That's what I was trying to do. To be fair, that's what I was trying to do. The problem is I'm going too far down in between each step. Watch this. If we do this for every, and then I go down. No, the other way? Hold on. X and Y. The center of each. Come on. I think the sideways steps are meant to be slightly wider than the yeah, and that's why I was doing like the rhombus before, trying to do that. The issue is simply, see, I feel like if you just took, I've got the X direction correct. I've got the X correction. Oh, tile size. Oh, and then this is just step, isn't it? Is this what I did before? Is that why it blew up at me? Yeah. Here, let's refresh though and actually see what it does. Because here I'm seeing it work. Oh, and then where's the other one? Hold on. If it's tile size times 2. If J, let's see this. Come on, load. You got this. You got this. If let's open up a new one. There we go. There it is. I had something earlier in the calculation that was incorrect. There it is. Now we've got all the interlocking tiles. Okay? Now they all interlock. Now if we wanted to adjust them a little bit, that'd be fine. Right? Because I'm looking down here at the dock. Here, let me refresh here. Yeah. But I think this is a pretty good start. I'm gonna go with this right here. I'm just gonna go with this and do the clicking. I think that's what I want to do. Let's do this. Let's make this stuff a little bit less. And actually, I'm going to make this two shades of green. Red, green. What's this look like? And then that way we can figure out when I click on one. Yeah, eventually we could add little markers of where you click to show where the character is going. Like, yes, I think that's fine. Like when you click and it drops the little marker. Yep. I think that's fine. Okay, so here we got two shades of green. Cool. And so yeah, now we can rotate, because all rotating is figuring out where the X and Y coordinates are of the 4 points. And then finding the nearest center. Let me think. Yeah. Cool. Is it easy to add another half step horizontally but not vertically? Yes. Yes. And it's actually set up. That's what I was trying to do before. So we can add another half step in one direction. So we can make them not look like squares, but again, more like the rhombus. What I want to get now is I want to be able to click. Okay. I want to be able to click. Where's my on click? Okay. For movement. All right, cool. It can click on the screen. And then, yes, holy shit. And then we need to set this. Okay. Let X clicked equal 1. Let Y clicked. Let's put these as null. Null. Okay. Then when they click anywhere on the screen, let X clicked equals P5 mouse X. Let Y clicked equals P5 mouse Y. Okay, so now we have two variables holding the X and Y conditions. And now what I want to do is determine if the point is within is assigned but never used. That's fine. We haven't used it yet. Okay, let's see. Determine if a point is within a... How do I determine if a point is within a rhombus? Cool. We're going to take a little geometry lesson here on Twitch today. Okay, you see, yeah. This is also the stuff for, like, see the half width, the half height. This is what I'm kind of brute forcing right now that I need to put into, right? This is the calculation for, let's see, U, V, A, cool. Well, and this is the thing, Rinzai. This is the, like, dropping that marker on where they clicked, specifically dropping the marker on the center of the closest tile, right? On the closest node is what we want to do. We're about to calculate that point. So all you're telling P5 is as long as you have a clicked location that your character is not currently at but proceeding to, render that little bouncing whatever marker, right? Okay. What I don't have at the moment that I need to is actually have a variable in the application that represents the whole tile grid. What I have right now is just a couple of for loops that are rendering, but there's nothing that actually is keeping track of the coordinates outside of that render loop. So that's the next step. You need to have something a little kind of like one layer up that lives in the abstract that says, hey, this is what the grid is, even though it's unrendered. This is where all my nodes and my coordinates are, so you could reference stuff like this. Hey, was this point, what is the closest node? Okay. In your code, you can pre-compute once. Then, given the point, pretty efficient. You can decide inclusion just by doing vector subtraction and the two dot product. All the above assumes you have functions to do basic vector arithmetic, add the addition, subtraction, dot product, and that is the fun part that we are about to do. That's pretty cool. Wow. Okay. Let's go back to this for a sec. Let's just do this. Console log x clicked. Oh, and let's do y clicked. Okay. Let's do this for a second. This will be kind of interesting. Simplify this loop a little bit. Okay, let's write down the equations from this. This is P5 and view do not like this much. I'm gonna do this for a second, but I don't think it's gonna make. No, that's no. It's not letting me switch back over to Chrome. Alright, well, we'll just try this for a sec. This is the math. I'm going to need some stuff that can do vector math in there. I wonder if there's already P5 vector math. Yeah, vector distance, vector math. Okay, so there's already a P5 vector. Create vector. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Then I can just create these things as vectors. Oh, that's awesome. And then you can do vector magnitude, heading. Great. Set, add, copy, remove, subtract. Yes, multiply. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to go back to our code here and recreate these as vector 2s. Call this point A. And what we want to do, what we need to do is separate out the calculation of the placement of all the points from the rendering. We calculate it once. Yeah. Okay. B, C, D. B, B, C, D. 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2. And then cool. Let's see. Did it like that? New P vector 5. I want to do a vector 2. Oh, it's just I get rid of the 2, I think. It's just a vector. Oh, and this is, whoops, I need to comment this stuff out. Okay, great. You gonna refresh that for me? Are you angry? What did I do? Vector is not a function. Does it need to be vector 2? Like Unity has it? Oh, whoops, create vector. Not just vector, got it. Create. Game development is a lot of trial and error. There we go. Boom. Boom, I say. Interactive tabletop board games. There you go. Now we're back to it. Using properly generated... I should actually have a function for this. For generating a tile. Function. Generate tile. And I want to pass in basically just a point, origin. And it's going to return 4 points. Turn tile. Let tile equals, so tile is going to be an object with an A, a B, a C, and a D, and an origin or a center. The origin point, yeah. And we're going to copy this. So now we're starting to do a little bit of refactor to our code. We've brute forced enough that we can see some stuff working. But now, before we go any further, if we don't clean this stuff up, it's gonna be a pain. It's gonna be a big pain. this is going to be origin.or x. Create vector. X, y. Cool. I think all of that makes sense. Let's see. Just doing some math here. X, X, X. Now we're just doing a lot of copy and replace. Simplifying down some of our math here. Generate tile, return, remove. Great. Cool, generate tile. And so what I should be able to do now is do this. Generate tile. This generate, not this, generate tile. Generate tile and just pass in ij. Cool. And then that's going to fill all that in. And it's going to return a tile, so let tile equal. And then this becomes tile A. I prefix all this stuff with tile dot. And now we start creating a grid board that is known to the state of the application. Okay, and then this is tile. Whoa, I was gone for 10 minutes, big grid. Yeah, I just wanted to simplify the loops. I mean, that wasn't the problem that was happening before. The problem is the hot refresh. There's probably something in Vue, I can tell it, where it's like, chill out with what this is going on. But P5 is struggling with Vue, which is why, yeah, it's doing this. And so I tried to just, I tried to reduce the amount of just squares. Okay, we've now refactored a great deal of our loop. Holy shit, that worked. That worked really well. And now I want to separate another grid tile by, is it the same offsets? 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. Negative, plus, plus, negative, plus, minus, plus, minus. Oh, the sign doesn't matter when I multiply by 0. Ha! Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Cool. I'm doing a little refactor now, creating a couple helper functions for generating the thing. I also found the equations for figuring out if a point is within the area of a rhombus or a square, right? So, I needed to switch this stuff over to vectors, which is now done for all some of these green ones. Some of these other ones are, yeah, there you go. I want X center, okay, good. And then we have Y center, Y center, Y center, and then it's the same quad. And then what I want to do is after I render, I want to push it. Okay, so I mean, our grid is rendering now that I've refactored the whole thing to using vectors. Cool. So now I can take advantage of what the test was for figuring out if a point is within the, here, so let's see, function, what is it? Just like get click tile, get clicked, or get tile by coordinate, or what are we calling this? Point, get tile by point? No, coordinate. That makes, I think I refer to X and Y a lot more often as coordinate. And then get tile by coordinate is going to loop through so we're going to do let tiles equal, and that's going to be an array of all the tiles on the game board, right? and then we're going to say for x equals 0, and x is the length of tiles dot length, and then x plus equals 1. What we're going to do is we're going to, oh, there's an easier way to do this. Oh my gosh. It's an easier way to do this. Yeah, we are doing a find, an ES6 find, or what is, yeah, find, yeah, tile, it's an arrow function. Here, I'm going to switch over to the code because I think this part's pretty interesting if anyone wants to watch me kind of try to do this math. I'm going to go through each tile, and each tile, if this is the, I have to, what do I have to compute? V, W, U, where's my little comment here? I got rid of it. Won't, and you say the lagginess is only for developing, right? I think the lagginess, oh, are you talking about the movement? Have you got it running on your computer so you can see that it's not laggy? When I'm streaming it, I think what I see on the stream is laggy, but when you're running it locally, you're seeing it smooth, right? Okay, yes, that's how it's going to look for players. It's going to be smooth. The reason why it's getting choppy right now is because of when we do yarn serve, right? And we're saving, and view is hot reloading, but P5 is keeping track of its own state and is getting confused by view constantly telling P5 to like reinitialize or do new bindings. Once we publish this, that won't be an issue. View is never going to be hot reloading the app while we do this. We do have to, we are going to want to test this a lot, make sure it is efficient and performant. But no, players shouldn't see any lag. Even if we don't use WebSockets and we just do polling, we're going to do an API call, get some coordinates, and then View and P5 will simply move characters to different locations, and it should be nice and smooth. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about that point, but I want to see, okay, yeah. Okay. And then this is where we have to do our calculation. I guess I could cache this stuff. There's no reason. This first set of variables is never going to change, so we could just do this once. Return tile. So we're going to do all of this right here. We're going to do all of this right here. These are the functions we're going to write. And then we're going to add those properties back to v equals. Yeah, I mean we can actually keep this. Yeah, we'll have to see how JavaScript and P5 do these, and what sort of helpers are built in. This is gonna map it, tile, Q equals 0.5 times A plus C. A and C are both, yeah, it'll be tile A, tile C, and so tile Q will equal that. is it yelling at me? Hold on. Online. Oh, down here. Return tile. Okay. Okay. So there we go. That seems to be working. So that's Q. That's the center point. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Then we're going to do tile A. I guess that's a lowercase a. All right. Now we have to figure out the halfway distance between two tiles. Or sorry, between two. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, the magnitude squared, the dot product, the cross product, the distance. Oh, there is a function specifically for this. Awesome. Calculates the Euclidean distance between. Cool. And this is why, friends, we use libraries. So I don't have to do everything myself. Someone has already done this. So what we do is we grab tile A dot dist to tile C. And that's the distance. And then we do the same thing again for this bottom one. Tile B is 0.5 to the B dot. Dot dist. I'm going to make this a bit bigger on the screen so everyone can kind of see, and I'll scroll down a little bit so everyone can see what we're doing. I really don't like this sort of math, but this is going to be essential to doing a tile-based game, so I'm really kind of excited by that. This is doing subtraction. We should just do, oh, and there, I bet there's an add. There was an add, wasn't there? We should just do that. V1 add V2. Hold on. What is that? Add. Adds the x and y to the vector. Oh, shoot. Okay. A version of the method adds two vectors together as a static method and returns the P5 vector. Additionally, you may provide arguments to this method as an array. Okay, I don't want to add vector. I want to get the result. I want to get the result of the addition. There it is. Yeah, here it is. V3 equals V1 plus V2. Okay, and V3 is P5. Oh, okay. Sorry. This is what we want here. You're going to use the generic handle. So you're going to do P5 dot vector dot add. If you do tile A, add tile C, it will modify tile A. But if we do P5 vector add tile A, comma tile C, A and C will remain untouched and create create a third vector, and that's what we want there. It's the same thing with what we want to do down here with subtraction. So sub tile C, comma tile A, and then this is tile A here, and then our last variable we have to calculate is V. This is another subtraction. Okay, I think we got it, guys. There's the first half of this. We've prepared all our tiles. We've done all the pre-calculation. This only has to happen once. So what I want to, okay, and then once they're all prepared, right? That's that part of the equation. Then here's the test. function. Here, let me make sure I'm on the screen here. Oop. Function. Hold on. No. Hold on just a second. What's going on? I don't know why. Alright, that doesn't seem to be important. What's this? Okay, cool. We are almost there. Doing tile-based games. This is pretty cool. One of my popular, I wrote a tile library for Unity like 15 years ago. 15 years ago. It's my most popular GitHub repository. It's been starred the most and favorited the most. It wasn't a lot, but it was fun back in the day to do. I did quite a few tile based and like kind of cube, so tiles and 3Ds. 3D, that was kind of fun. Point in, okay, yeah. Is point in tile. Is point in tile. Is coordinate. Is coordinate. I'm going to call it a point because the math vectors and points. Is point in tile. Okay. And this is going to take an array of tiles and it's going to take a point. Okay. Oh, it's going to take a single tile. Yep. And this is the test. So W equals, so let W equals, why do I not have what P and Q? I'm missing something, shoot. How do I determine? Then given point P, Q is the center. P is the point, Q is the center. Okay. W, okay. So W is a subtraction between the two, mind your P's and Q's. Vector, it's going to be P5 vector subtraction of tile, oh, this isn't tile, this is the point, from tile origin. Okay, that's what W is. And then let X absolute value is the was it a math absolute value of P5 vector mult. Is that, I think mult is the for multiplication. Let's see what it says. Remove. Oh, that's not remove, that's remainder. Oh, cool. Given the remainder of the vector when it's divided by another vector. All right, cool. Multiplied. Okay, so P5 mult, and then it's going to take the W and the U, so tile U, okay? And then the Y absolute value is going to be the V, and then the last check, here we go, if the X absolute value divided by tile A plus the Y absolute value divided by tile B is less than or equal to 1, console log true. Right, return true. Otherwise, return false. There we go, guys. We've written all the equations. All the equations for figuring out if someone's clicked within an isometric grid. Ugh. I'm gonna put this down. I'm also gonna grab this in good fashion. This is where I got my freaking. This is the time we just hire someone to do the logic for us. You know where I want to hire someone or find someone? I want to find someone who's really into economics, who can figure out the supply demand. This is where like Carl with IQ is really good. What should the drop rate and probability be for a healthy economy? Right? That's where I think I want the most amount of help. Get someone who has interest in economics, supply and demand to help make an in-game economy. That's not a strength of mine. My strength is shipping software. I feel like addressing the scope, solving issues, answering questions, connecting the dots here. Like this wasn't too bad. I feel like if we had tried to do a more like tile-based movement, when tile-based movement is this was not difficult. We're not a 3D space game in which you can go off in any XYZ vector. That I think is more complicated. This, once you get it down, once you just realize like we're just doing geometry here. It's not as simple as other games. Certainly. We're also not a game that's dealing with physics or collision, right? Like I'm not doing any sort of those sort of like physics calculations, and I'm grateful for that. Also, nothing really is moving in like a curve. Nothing's arcing, right? Even though things are sort of at a 45-degree angle, things are still moving in lines. So this is not where my weak point is. The weakest point of our game will be the economy. How much should drop? How much is used per attempt to craft or upgrade? How do we balance that out? I really want to try to do a thing like you see in IQ where there is no vendor. I will design your economy. I get 90% taxes and everyone else splits the 1%. If that's what it takes to keep the game stable, then absolutely. In IQ, there is no vendor. There is no artificial source of gold. You have to, fight. There's no NPCs with infinite amount of gold that you can just keep bringing stuff to and getting that stuff. Everything you find either gets used up or sold to another player who's going to use it up. And in IQ, the failure rates, or at least what you could call overall, the cost to do crafting is so high that, and the cost of doing upgrades is so high that everything does get used up, as opposed to Noroth, where there aren't enough players to begin with. But regardless, even if there were more players, there's too much produced by the economy, and not just gathering, just drops in general. There's too much being produced that at the end of the day, the vast majority, I'm just going to say everything ends up going to the vendor. And so now you have an artificial, not supply and demand price being generated by all that stuff, right? These potions will always sell for X amount to this vendor. IQ, the price of potions has gone up month over month for the last 3 years because of inflation. There's just more gold in the system, right? But I do feel like things are more stable. No one's getting, everyone's drops are increasing, but so is the amount of all the resources, so is the amount of all the gold, and people are having to spend much more to get those upgrades. That'd be cool if the longer an item sits in a vendor unsold, the cheaper the price gets, but the faster it sells, the higher the price gets, right? So like an auction, like so that you could put something up on an auction house, and actually that's a isn't that a type of auction? Isn't that a type of bidding process where like people do that on like sales? Like for every day the price will drop until it gets sold. So if you want to buy it cheaper, you wait, but it's a gamble because someone else can buy it. I swear I've seen this. I've seen that done. There's a limited quantity of something, and once it's sold out, it's sold out. Like in the game, you say you're gonna sell like 100 potions, but every day that there's still some amount of quantity, they drop by 5%. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Certainly. Get tile kite by corner. Okay, so we've done this. Prepare tiles. I want like a setup. There's a setup function, right? Draw, mouse pressed, setup. Here it is. P5 setup. I'm just going to say prepare tiles. Oh, and I'm just going to generate tiles. And this is going to be, this is where I want tiles. And this is what I want. Tiles equals, and then prepare tiles. That's a neat idea. I mean, the fun thing about an RPG is because it's not like a battleground, or it's not like Hearthstone. It's not a deck or anything like that. There's no decks. It's not a battle royale. You don't need to balance every little thing. It's never like this player versus that player. So it allows you a little bit more experimentation. You want to try this with an auction house, or this with a market, or this with a dungeon, or this with a sword, right? So, yeah. I think it's a lot of fun. Now, this is what I want. So we have prepare tiles. What I want here, this is the generate tile, and I want, this is function render grid. So I don't want this. I want a function like this. Generate tiles, and I want it to return an array, and I want there to be, and we're going to do this loop, except we're not going to be drawing anything. We're not going to be drawing anything. We're just generating tiles. And at the end of each one, so tiles.push tile. Okay. Let tile equal an empty object. Tile. Okay. We're almost there, everyone. We're almost there. This is generating the board in the abstract. Render grid should I think I'm doing this slightly wrong. I think the way I've done this before is something like this, where tiles x y equals tile. So it's a little bit more easy. It's a little easier to reference the XY tile. So I guess this is I, J. Like that. And then you do something like, what did I do wrong? Hold on. I need a two dimension. I'm a little bit tired here. Hold on. JavaScript 2-dimensional array. The other way to do it is I can just create like a whole array, and it's just keeping track of its x and y's. Oh, I need to do this. It's an array, and it's got two arrays like that. Is that what you want? There it is. B is not defined. Am I sharing code? Yeah. All right. Where is B? B is used at line 330, which is right here. B. B. That would be tile.b. Okay. What else? Is point in tile. All right. That is called later get tile by coordinate. All right. We're gonna. This is basically this. If is point in tile. This is the tile, and then the point you're doing is let point equal p5 vector mouse. Oh, was it x clicked and then y clicked? Okay. And then you're passing in the point, and then you're just returning whether or not that was there. You don't. Do you need to even return the tile? Yes, we do want to return the tile. Yes, not just true false. If is point in tile, then return tile. Okay. X clicked. Did I not do this right? What was it? Was it mouse? X clicked? Yeah, X clicked, Y clicked. Why are you yelling at me about... Hold on. Get function get tiles let point X clicked is not defined. I bet, did I leave something open up here? This is generate tile. This is render grid. So what I want to do this is I want to do something like this. It should be like tiles. Instead of generating the tile here, it's going to be tile X Y or I J, or I guess X Y. Yeah, I'm trying to go get the... And then you do a circle, but you shouldn't have to adjust them anymore. So this should just be... You shouldn't have to offset them anymore because we've already calculated all the offsets by the time we get to render. You shouldn't need to do this. And you shouldn't need to do this. You should just pull out each tile one at a time. This is where I don't even think you need to, you don't even need to, I'm trying to think, do we even need to keep it as a two-dimensional array? No, it should just be tiles push. There may be something we realize later, but I feel like this is all we need. Even if it is a one-dimensional array, just a giant stack of tiles. Every tile knows where its XY coordinate is. Oh, you know what's obviously going to need to know? We're going to have to, when we feed this into A star for the pathfinding, that's going to be the next step. For right now, at least, I just want to see, can we render these? And when I click, will it find the correct tile? Okay. Oh, so I want to call generate tiles. I call generate tiles, then I call exciting stuff. Well, prepare tiles. Okay, then we prepared the tiles. I mean, the exciting thing is this is the hurdle that keeps a lot of developers from creating something like Noroth, and why a lot of people end up making games like Elithor and Queslar and IQ. Not that there's anything at all wrong with those games, but when you're like, I don't know how to do X or Y, and they just do simple interfaces with progress bars, right? Because it's simple, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the reason why people stay away from and I don't want to say like I have any idea why those developers haven't made graphical games, but what I will say is that is a more difficult threshold to hit when you start dealing with sprites and animations and stuff like that, right? 274. I'm failing at 274. I think I have an extra. What is this? That's the quad. Then I just have two. Oh, I have what? One too many. There we go. Okay, get tile by coordinate. Get tile by coordinate. And then that's on the click. So where's the click? Pressed. All right, let's try it. Get tile by coordinate, and we pass in the tiles, and I'm going to get the selected tile, and I'm going to say console log tile found, comma, tile. I'm a little bit skeptical that I haven't X clicked. Why isn't it? It's still not registering? That's fine. Here, I'll just do X, Y. X, Y. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass it. I'm a little bit worried that I'm missing something, but yeah. Because, I mean, tile itself, some of these things are outside the, right? That's fine. That's fine. We'll just pass it. Get tile by coordinate. And then this is just X. Oh, yeah. X clicked and Y clicked. Okay, let's see. Okay. Cannot read property of undefined reading add. Okay, great. Let's do this. Let's do a couple things first. Let's not even worry about preparing the titles. Let's do a console log on tiles and make sure that our tiles are even being generated. Oh, cool. It generated 100 and here. Is it going to show Chrome yet? No. Oh, there it is. Yay, it's showing Chrome. Let's do this. Let's bring this up so you guys can see the debug. It's generated 120. Look at this. All right. My A's, my B's, so those are all my vectors and the origin. All right. I'm generating tiles. Now let's prepare tiles. And let's move this down a step. And now it's going to break here. Okay, it was going to break there. There it is. Play at line 309. Tile Q. Oh, I need to pass P5. I need to pass P5. Anywhere I'm using P5, I need to pass P5. Oh my god, yep. That's why all of this. P5 is not in the global scope of the page. Or even of this script. See, this is weird. Generate tile. Hold on. It is in the scope of the page. No. So, okay, I wasn't an idiot, or as that may be a little harsh. I wasn't being foolish, but because it's not telling me it can't find P5, it is telling me Cannot read property of undefined reading add. So let's look at the example again. Do I need to do new? Oh, did I not create oh my god. Do you see this down here, Kenzie? Oh, you don't. The code thing. When I generated there's a function called create vector. Okay. I knew, so that's definitely one of them that I missed. Let's look at this add function. Figure out what we're missing there. Create vector v-add. Create vector v-add. Create vector. Okay, p5 dot vector dot add. Where's my code? Prepare tiles. Okay, p5 dot vector. So I guess let's try this. If p5 console log. Yes, we have p5. Else console warn no p5. Yes, we have p5. Okay. If p5 dot vector. No p5. Okay. The static method has failed. Okay. Shoot. What do I need to do here? P5 vector static method. Hold on. And I need to go. I'm going to try this one more time, and then unfortunately I need to head out, and I will finish this up tonight. Static. Yes. Do I need to declare this in a different way? Be happy to completely revisit how this function is called. The static methods arrived in P5 object can be ported over from P vector. It's not too late how to reinvent how this works. Vector forming. Okay, vector. Okay, that's not what we want. That's not what we want. Give me. Nope. Give me. Potential disadvantage of static methods because the current URL structure of the documentation. Give me an example of this stuff. This is from like years ago. I don't really think it's changed. How to call a static P5 method in an instance mode. I guess I can create a new vector that's a clone of an old vector and then add to it. I feel like I shouldn't need to do that because they've already done. I mean, they have a static method here for exactly doing what I'm doing. It's just not working. But it's not like I'm trying to do something that I'm literally not. I'm looking directly at the documentation for how to do this. But unfortunately, we're not going to solve this right here today. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream. It's been a good, what is this? Almost 2 hours, just over hour and a half. We're making great progress on Raccooth. The grid is almost done. We have pathfinding waiting for the grid to come in, which is super cool. Yeah, I will work on this later tonight. I may or may not stream, but we'll definitely provide an update. Updates are provided like almost hourly on the Discord, so please feel free, visit the website, join our Discord, and I'll see you guys later.